Hi guys, hi. So, if you're wondering, I am just obviously, there's a lot of things I could say. Obviously, kind of a mess, like I just woke up, so I'm still, yeah, that wasn't the right way to go, but what was I supposed to do? It's not that I'm really talking to anybody else, it's more so I'm noticing, like, the activation of the throat chakra, like, you choose, and, like, the spirit of yourself, like, you choose what direction you want to go based on what you decide to say, but you have to make the wrong choice in order to find out what the right choice is. But sometimes you just want to be honest about your own life and your own situation. That takes you down a completely different road than you would have gone if you had something different to be honest about, which is super funny. But it's like, well, then I'm not going to take away from myself just wanting to be honest about, like, whatever and describe how I felt. But then describing how I felt, like, brought me to feeling a different way, but, like, fast, instantly. I don't know, it's fine. Not saying I teleport in the future or anything, just how did I move through those thought forms so quickly? Why did they evolve so quickly? Something I can do is I have to be a little cautious to not, like, envy somebody or want to be like somebody. But nothing bad happens if I do. It's just that I find out their future timeline because it happens to me, but their future in 10 years will happen to me tomorrow. Not like they die and I die. Like, not like that, but it'll be like, I'll be like, oh, like, this one job they have looks really good, but then it's like, whatever, like, you know, oh, they're actually going to get in a fight with their boss, and, like, that's how they get fired, and it's going to be, like, a big deal. Something on a smaller scale, but, like, the same energy will just happen to me, like, tomorrow. So it's more like, you thought that energy was so good. Like, you don't actually have to go down that road that you think you do just because they're going down that road. Sorry. I'm trying to use my MacBook to, like... I know that sound kind of annoying, I guess, but I'm trying to, I don't know, you get, like, computery stuff. Computery energy. Why? I'm assuming those are old text messages. You know when you have a MacBook and you open it, and then it's like, oh, like, a text message from, like, 3 years is, like, dinging or something, or I don't know. And it's like, I don't know, like, what that's about, you know? It was, like, text from my manager at work, and I'm like, those are probably old text messages because I'm off today, and you don't text me when I'm not working, obviously. So, I mean, unless it's like, do you want to pick up a shift or something like that, but it wouldn't be like 6 text messages. It would be like 3 words, you know? Like, abbreviated, like, shortest possible, because that's, like, the vibe. So, yeah, I got this, Chick-fil-A frosted coffee. I was gonna say Minecraft for no reason. Like, okay. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm drying it off because it arrived wet. It arrived... Honestly, I don't like these types of lids, like the normal drink lids. Like, I honestly think... Because I used to work at Chick-fil-A, and I just know that whoever put the frosted coffee... like, in this, they're either brand new or, which, you know, it is what it is, or they're just a psychopath, because, you know, or, you know, when you're like, this customer's annoying me, I can technically put on whatever lid I need to, but, like, you know, like, oops, we only have the normal lids, you know, like, I don't know, yeah, so, but it's not about me. I just got my, Uber Eats, so, nothing's about me. Nothing's about me. That's how I know it's about you. Oh, I hated that. Like, it tastes good, But, you know, when you look, I just looked down at the top of it. It looked like a suction cup, like as if there's like an octopus in there, but there's not, you know, but it's like the bubbles and like the drink. But you know what? It's fine. It doesn't matter at all. What was I going to say? I started the video because I wanted to say something so specific, but I forgot. I literally forgot. It must have not been that important. It must have not been that important. I don't know what else I was gonna say. One thing I was gonna say is, has anybody else gotten to the point where they realized upgrading in a way that doesn't get rid of one specific insecurity doesn't make it go away? I mean, you probably have, but I've not gotten to upgrade that much. So now that I have all of that built up energy of wondering what upgrading would have been like. You know? So. I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. So, because I'm gonna be like paranoid, like, oh my gosh, then now the one thing I'm like, oh no, like that's gonna happen, then that's gonna be what happens. You know what I mean? You know, when you're like, oh no, like this is gonna happen, oh no, like someday that's gonna happen, oh no, someday this is gonna happen, you're like, I'm giving myself energy over this. Is it going to be more fruitful for it to happen and I get like a return of that version of the energy, or is it gonna be more fruitful for it to not happen and then I get a return of the energy of what if it doesn't happen? Exactly. I don't get to control which one's fruitful, but I feel like that one's more likely to happen rather than me being able to control. I feel like I'm dissolving whether or not I can control certain things in favor of whichever version is more fruitful and the return of energy being stronger. Like, I feel like that's a faster way to go, so I'm leaning more towards that way because I feel like it's faster than trying to reinvent the wheel every time you try to do anything as far as like upgrading your life in a different way. Doing something that feels like a more broad like scope, like say I have like a fish net and I'm going into the ocean and like all of the fish are coming right here, you know? I feel like for me, I saw that as like faster. Like I envisioned it being faster if that's all the energy that I'm trying to like capture so that I could like try to upgrade faster. I thought if I could like have like a wider scope of energy and then like build it upwards, that it would be a lot easier than having a very like streamlined like upwards, right? Like that much energy upwards, right? So yeah, like I thought like if I could be like all the fish and then be like, okay, now I know that I have this energy, now I can build on top of that. Like I thought that would be better than like, oh, like one thing happens, okay, now I have so much energy I can just like immediately teleport somewhere. But yeah, like where I was kind of saying like I'm not saying I'm gonna teleport someday, but being able to like have what people's futures would have been happen in my life just by me being like, oh, like I really like their energy today. What is it I like about their energy today? I have to stop myself and be like, no, you know that you like their energy and it stands out to you because it might not be something good, you just don't know. That's possible. There's a possibility that what you specifically like today isn't good. It's possible that it's good, but it's possible that it's more possible that you don't know if it's good, but you can sense that you like something for some reason. Yeah. So So it makes me feel like I can teleport, because why am I getting somewhere faster? Just to have the return of energy and be like, okay, what? So I just got there faster? Like, we both had to go through it, but I just got there faster, but we weren't both going to have to go through it if I didn't think they were, like, really cool for no reason. So then I'm having the, like, recurring, like, notation in my mind, like, oh, so we were both going to the same place, but I just got there faster, like, I just got there instantly through a means that doesn't make any sense. So then I'm like, okay, so, like, someday in retrospect, that could be the reason why teleportation happens, even though it would have probably been a combination of things when I'm looking at it in retrospect in the future. Not that it's going to be a thing, but, like, I mean, I know that I think it's possible for people to teleport. I believe in that. Because guess what? You actually kind of get to believe in whatever you want to, so. Cool. You know? It's like how it is. Like, people would be like, that's not real, but they can't prove it's not real. Science is trying to prove that it's possible for them to do it. But because it hasn't been proven yet, people are like, ugh. Ew, you think you could do that? I don't think I could right now. I think that the person who, you know, you take all of your good jobs from, you know, they're like, you know, like, you did a good job at that, and you're like, wow, I really respect their opinion. I think that person is trying to prove that teleportation is possible. I'm also just trying to figure out if I can prove that teleportation is possible. Like, no offense, but, like, you know, I'm just trying to. So, yeah. What I was going to say, though, that fry was kind of lame, too. Because, like, I've seen better fries. They could have just thrown that one away, because I used to, like, cook the fries. So I'm like, you just had that one cooking for, like, 40 minutes. Like, I know, like, it's supposed to be kind of light, you know, like hot, but, like, a lighter, not, like, a skin color thing. It's not like that. It's like, you know, when, genuinely when food is overcooked and you're like, I know the color is different. Like, I'm not saying it has to have a certain skin tone. I'm saying it tastes different. So I'm saying I've seen them like that, and you just had that cooking for like a long time. Not 40 minutes, but, like, you had that cooking for, like, multiple batches of fries. You just had that left over in there, like, and then you scooped it out and you're like, that's the one. And then you had that one fry, like, somehow sitting in the window forever. You just added it in. Like, it fell out of somebody's box. You added it. Like, oh well. But, like, you know, some of them are obviously really good, so. Oh, what I was going to say. I was going to talk about how, like, insecurities don't go away when you upgrade in a certain area of your life. So, one area of my life that I wanted to upgrade in was making my own songs, making my own music, right? Making my own songs, making my own, right? Like, albums. I wanted to do that. So, like, I am getting more energy, like, I am, like, upgrading from it, you know? But when I record the video, it's a normal video. It's not just audio. So then I, obviously, like, in iMovie, when I, you know, I separate the audio from the video. So I can put whatever image I want, you know, alongside the audio. And then I have to go back and delete the video because the video is still there. So I'm like, what if I forget? What if I forget to do that? it doesn't matter that there's 3 people that are going to see it, because in my mind it's way worse than if there were like 80,000 people. Like, it's not something I could just like, you know, be like, oh, it's fine. Like I would be like, it's fine, but like I would be like, I have to think that it's fine. Like, I have no choice but to be fine with it, and like that's terrible. I want to be like, I love my experience so much that I'm fine with my experience. I don't want to be like, you know, I'm forced to be fine with my experience. Like, I don't understand why I would go that way. That much. Not with this. Not with having like the floor and the wall and my foot and my pajama pants like in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would get nothing out of that. Nothing out of people being like, nobody stalks my page because I'm not that like important, but like if they did, I don't need them to be like, imagine they're like a massive hater and stuff, which is fine because like I'm still getting like energy out of it, but then they have to hate the sound of my voice, and they have to hate the images that I chose, which has the energy of like, I chose this, so I did the best that I could, so it grows me faster because I'm like, I did the best that I could, and then they're like, oh my god, I hate this, it's terrible, and I'm like, thank you for that energy, because now I get to overcome, oh my god, that's terrible, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the love you can use, like, it's energy, the hate you can use also because it's energy, like both are just like energy. Both are just energy. So either way, you can use either type of energy. But if they're like, oh my god, I hate the fact that your foot is like in this video by accident, I'm like, yeah, I hate that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even like defend myself from that hate because I'm like, I hate that too. I didn't want that either. Like, not that I wouldn't be like, I guess that's how my life is now, but like, I just haven't invested like the good energy in having that happen. So it's gonna be relatively useless to me if that does happen, as far as like how I perceive it. So, and miserable. But like, it could happen at any moment by accident, so oh no. I don't know. Yeah, it's sad. But like, also, at the end of the day, it's just my foot, and like, at least I, you know, no offense to like amputees, but like at least I have 2 feet. Like, there's nothing. Another thing though, like, I guess the way that I'm most likely to get over it is like, well, there's nothing about being a human that is so embarrassing that you could never overcome it. There's a lot of things that you don't want to do because they're terrible, but there's just about nothing that if you're strong enough you couldn't overcome. So, oh no. Oh no. And what I mean by that is not like to where people can be like, oh, like you just haven't like gone through anything that if you think you could overcome anything. No, like I actually fully considered, you know, the event that my foot is like accidentally in the video, then the next day somehow I become like an amputee and that exact foot is like gone. And then I find out and other people find out and it's like scientifically proven that like it's true that if you put your foot in a YouTube video, like it gets like cut off the next day by like a storm. I don't know. How does that happen? I don't know. That's sure to be the dumbest thing ever. But like, you have to understand the intelligence behind it, not just how it's stupid or you're as stupid as you want to see it as. Oh wow. Like, I fully considered like the hardest possibility when I said I could overcome that too. And hopefully you never find out that I could overcome that too, because then it means that it would happen to me and I would just be like, so guys, like this happened, I can prove it, but also I don't care. Like, like that's what it would look like. It wouldn't be that special, you know? Like, I would like, so guys, like technically that happened, but like I didn't really care to tell you. Like, it's been like 5 years now, you find out, like, you know, like, okay. Like, I didn't think it was that special, no offense. Like, I thought it was special if you did it, I didn't think it was special if I did it. Like, you know, that's what it would look like. It would just look like me, like you finding out like 10 years later. I'm like, okay, like it would have been special if it were you, but it would not have been special if it were me. Like, because I already overcame that. So like, it's not the end of the world if just that happens. Like, my end of the world would have to be so different from your end of the world. which is a conversation we're not going to get into because I don't know what my end of the world would be, but hopefully something so spontaneous I wouldn't see it coming, because otherwise I would be so disappointed. So, but I could see a lot coming. Because of course I'm, you know, assuming like the soul exists, and I'm gonna like, you know, look back on my whole timeline and be like, okay, like when did the end of the world start? Like when did I see it coming? Like when did I decide like it makes sense? Like that kind of thing. If it were the end of the world, I would be disappointed in myself if I didn't see it coming at some point in time. So I'd want to look for signs, I'd want to look for clues. If it were true, then I would want to look for clues. So I don't know, but you know. Why am I doing this? Like being weird. Why am I being weird? Anyway, I'm so excited for my journey with music. I'll tell you about it. I'm excited in a way that I haven't told you about it yet, so it's not like a repeat. I hate when people repeat things in different videos, because if it's like, if people wanted to know about you, they would have watched every video. Which sounds mean, but like if people, you know how celebrities will say the same thing in every interview? It's like, duh, we get your story. Like, what else is going on with you? Anything? Because I already heard this. If I cared, I would have rewatched the same video. Believe me, I could have found the same video if I wanted to rewatch it. Like, for a while I thought I was like acting like narcissistic, right? Because I wouldn't want to tell a story in a YouTube video and then tell the same story to my friends later that day. Or I wouldn't want to, which obviously it's kind of like an ironic thing, because it's like, oh, like obviously nobody cares to like watch your content if they know you in real life. Like obviously nobody cares. But I said, on the off chance that they do, I don't want to further insult them and either try to make them not want to watch my content, because they have every right to, and I don't want to also make them feel like they don't have, you know, like a spontaneous experience as my friend. Like I don't want to like take away from either of those. So I wanted to make sure that, yeah, I'm like the same person, so I don't come across as not genuine. Like I wanted to come across as genuine. It was like my mindset at the time, right? I was like, I want to come across as genuine as both, but I want to make sure that I have enough like material to use. Not like I'm planning friendship like moments, but I'm not. But like I'm gonna like try to, if they happen to see the video, I don't want to tell the story the exact same way if I'm gonna tell them, or I don't want to like retell the story to them unless they ask. You know, if they ask, then that's one thing. And it becomes this funny thing where either they don't watch my videos, which I'm already aware makes the most sense, because I don't see why it would matter if I had videos to them, but it's this weird thing where like I had to also work through like, okay, like if they were my friend, would they have cared about the content that I posted, or would they have not cared? Would they have been so busy with their own life that it's obviously not, like it would be so weird and creepy and narcissistic if I wanted them to see every single like thing that I ever posted, but if they absolutely never saw any of it at any point in their lives, that would be weird for me too, because then I'm like, okay, so my purpose wasn't about you, but it was about the infinite hypothetical people that could have been there, or my own personal growth journey. Okay, so there aren't infinite hypothetical people, so it's just about my own journey growing as a person. So then how much do I want to tell them when I do see a person? Because like, do I want them to rewatch all of it, even if they have the opportunity to? Like, do I want that? Does that seem good? Does that seem like a good idea? Does that seem like a good idea? What would change about the way that they like perceived me, I guess, because I'm still the person making my daily life appearances, you know, like I make an appearance at my job, I make an appearance at wherever, you know, so it's like keeping up your appearances as the same person. Even though you're not a celebrity, you do keep up your appearances as the same person that you are, but do you keep up the appearances as the person that you were the last time that you saw them, or as the person that you currently are? And if they don't get it, that's on them. But then what if they feel left out and like scared and confused because you changed, because you're not who you were the last time you guys met? But what if you don't evolve in front of them, but you evolve in front of a camera, and they notice it and they feel left out because they're not such a comfortable person for you that you would feel like you could be yourself with them? Or do you seem like somebody to them only because you didn't know who you were supposed to be with them? Do they see you as somebody who fakes it in front of a camera, like your whole personality, your whole persona, everything that you are? Do they have to, like, you know, do they care to find out who you are? No, because that's not what a friend is. It's just not what a friend is. What is a friend? If you thought I was going to educate you on that, I was not. I wanted to ask like a hypothetical like question. I wanted to say something philosophical, so I said, what is a friend? It wasn't like, here's your 4th grade textbook telling you like something that you feel icky and embarrassed about the concept of asking the question of what is a friend, because you're pretty sure you were supposed to learn that in kindergarten, but you're pretty sure you didn't. So now you're like, oh, ew, why would they say what is a friend in a textbook? And then they have like this Google definition. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, nothing, now what? Like, you know? Like, ew, they thought I wasn't gonna know what that was. Ew, they wanted to explain it to me for the first time. That's so gross. Why did they fixate on that and decide it was gonna be in the textbook? Ew. Meanwhile, like, oh, a piece of the breading of the chicken fell on the ground. Okay, because I'm awful, I'm gonna check to make sure it's not like raw or anything, but it's not. Just because I'm paranoid. And, yeah. It seems normal. I am, so paranoid, but that just comes from being such a terrible person that I don't want to fall off the face of the earth because I ate a raw chicken sandwich, even though I was never going to because I have a great immune system. So, I don't know, does anyone else want to, like, not die? I'm grateful for the chicken dead bodies, but like, you know how the texture, obviously it's real chicken, like it's not about Chick-fil-A, but like chickens themselves, when they're cooked, like, you know how they're stringy? It stresses me out because I don't understand why there's like lines coming off of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's great, but like, in theory, like there's like lines coming off of it. Like you can string it like a string cheese, you know, like there's stuff going on, which obviously like enhances the human simulation, but like it stresses me out because why is it like that? You know, but like there's nothing wrong with it, like it just means you're eating real chicken. But like my brain, it's great. Like my brain, it's like, why are there stringy things coming off of it? Like, this is so scary. Like, I could not figure that out at all. You know what? Back to the the conversation about like friends and stuff and like feeling like wait, my chicken has to wait a minute for no reason. I just have to talk to you, and like it was gonna distract me. There's too much chicken sandwich going on for us to also have a conversation. It has to be one or the other. So I guess like what I wanted to say is you know how like you're like, oh, like I think maybe like an influencer would understand this, or like anybody who's making art, or anybody who's who even wants to be famous, or anybody who like maybe they're working on something they posted online, anything like that. I don't know about famous, but not famous, or having the experience of not being famous, whatever that is for you, right? I guess what I would say, or like maybe having had that experience at some point in time, you can relate. So, or you maybe not, but I don't know. So what I'm saying is, not that you have to be famous to watch this. I'm saying you don't, but it's weird that now it sounds like that was the expectation. Now it sounds like that was the expectation, you know? So. Obviously, yeah, it's weird. It's weird because, making music and knowing people, but not being famous and not getting, views and stuff, but not wanting to tell people is weird, because everybody's had friends who, like, it sounds mean, okay? Everybody's had, like, somebody who maybe they were friends with at work, who, like, okay, I'll just say it. They had, like, and then I don't know how it sounds, but, like, everybody has had, like, a friend who they weren't really close with, but they were, like, acquaintances with, but that person had, like, a SoundCloud, and their aura was really giving, like, that's not who they actually are, but it's who they're, like, acting as and pretending they are, but you don't want to tell them, like, because you're just acquaintances, and you're like, well, I'm not going to insult them, I'm not going to be mean, I'm not going to be like, this doesn't feel like who you actually are, there's nothing I can do about that, it feeling like that's not who you actually are, and, like, this weird dynamic, right? Like, you kind of get to know both sides of it. At least I don't know about you guys in your life path, but I got to know both sides of it, having people be like, please, like, listen to my SoundCloud. It's like, okay, you listen to the song like one time because you're like, I just wanted to be nice, like I feel like I have to, but then you go home and you never listen to it ever again because you have to be like nice to them, because you don't want to be a terrible person, and maybe someday they could be good at it, but you really, really, really feel that in their future timeline as a psychic, you can kind of feel like it's just that you're like, some people have a large amount of potential they can pull out of absolutely nowhere, and some people are in the cycle of, like, they already have, like a soul contract, and their vibe is, like, they're going to go through, like, multiple lifetimes not getting recognition, and there's nothing that you could do about it or that they could do about it, and that's what they're prepared for and signed up for, but, like, their actual human self doesn't know that, and they're still gonna, like, push it as far as they can, which sounds mean and weird, and, like, you just have to get it, the vibe. Sometimes the vibe of people's music is not good at all. Sometimes the vibe of people's music is not good at all. Sometimes, I'll say it again, sometimes the vibe of people's music is not good at all. You find out where their inspiration came from, and it was basically out of a garbage can, but the garbage can equivalent of, like, what they saw from a mainstream artist that was really boring, and they only took the boring, not interesting, not revolutionary parts from those people and decided to, like, integrate it into who they are. Not everybody who makes music should be making music. Not everybody who doesn't make music should not be making music. It's one of those, like, not everybody who wants to be an architect should be an architect. And you already know why, because people will die. and they'll have nothing to look up to. And all of the art that we have might as well go in the trash then, because everybody gets in the door, right? So it's one of those, like, not everybody who should be an architect, or not everybody who should be an architect ends up getting to be one. Not everybody who gets to be one should be, right? So you want to keep some level of, like, not everybody gets in. Now, what about the people who are getting deprived of being an architect? Could that even be in a good way? Well, yeah, because all of your designs involved, like, people dying or accidentally dying, like, or all of your designs were ugly and we have, like, truly there hasn't been a good one. Sometimes, like, oh, the people weren't ready for you because you were so good, right? Sometimes the people weren't ready for you because you were so bad. You know? Sometimes but then you also have to understand, like, the people born into anything, it's like, but technically if only one person in your life had told you at the right time that you were terrible at this, you never would have even tried to get in the door. If they're born with the opportunity, they never would have tried. Had one person told them they were terrible, then you also have to understand the opposite end of that. It's always the people who, like, they're on their last life in every category of their lives when everybody they've ever met decides to tell them they're terrible at everything they do, and they're like, wow, all I needed was for one person to believe in me, then maybe I would have already done it by now. You know? But so, yeah. But yeah, you're not gonna read everybody's book. You're not gonna listen to anybody's SoundCloud. And I said anybody's. You're not going to. SoundCloud is an app that you download and you delete when you have a good friend who just posted something and you're like, honestly, your voice is pretty good normally, like, I guess I'll give it a shot. I'll listen to it one time and see how it goes. But it doesn't go. You know, you listen to it one time, you're like, wow, I didn't know you were that bad. Wow, I didn't know somebody could be that bad at everything they do. I didn't know somebody could be that bad at everything they do. You know, and it's like, some people, like me, have an aura where, people who are, like, it's giving, like, I have to find out where the stupid is coming from when you give me feedback. That's what the journey is for me. I have to find out where the stupid is coming from when you give me feedback. I immediately find out how stupid your feedback is. And half the time I find out where it's coming from, and that's because it was so stupid that it took me longer than half a second to find out where the stupid was coming from, because where did you pull a large amount of stupid out of nowhere, you know? Like how? Yeah, so, Oh well. People are gonna think it's narcissistic to think that you're better than the ones that you're better than. And that's just true. And they can't understand your tone of voice and they don't understand where it's coming from. So it must have been you. Like, it's they don't understand, are you lying? Is it like satire comedy, or are you lying? Which one is it? Should we hold you accountable? Should we hold you accountable for saying there was a squirrel in that trash can and there's not one? Should we hold you accountable? Why are we not holding you accountable? It's like, maybe that person was not important enough to be held accountable. Like maybe they were actually so unimportant that they, like, it didn't matter. Yeah. So, all you can do is decide that you're going to be other people's version of being as narcissistic as possible. And then the wrong person will get a hold of that advice and go do it themselves. then the whole street's on fire. But you weren't important enough for it to ever be because of you or come back to you. So you don't have to worry about that, but you kind of will be the reason. But yeah. But yeah, the SoundCloud that you listened to was not good. Like, no, people don't want to listen to your SoundCloud. They don't. Because in order for you to get better, you have to already know that you're terrible. But you don't know that you're terrible yet because people are pretending that your SoundCloud is good. So, yeah. That's how it is. No, your book is probably terrible, but maybe hearing that is going to make you give up. Maybe hearing that is going to make you strong enough to try. Maybe people don't know if your book is really terrible if it's still in your head, but it probably is. You have to think your book is 100 times, terrible. Like, you can't be like, you have to think it's like 100 times terrible before you even read it. Then you read it, and maybe people like it. Maybe you've overcome enough terrible that people start to like it. But if you don't overcome terrible, then, that's how it is. Like, you just have to like yourself. But in order to like yourself, you have to have a version of you that you didn't like. But you decided to not be that version that you didn't like anymore. So some people have never had a version of them that they didn't like. Of themselves, People can tell when there used to be a version of you that you don't like, but you became something else. I think that's what sets people apart. Because, like, people can tell now the person who got it super easy, who just walked in the door, they can tell there was never a version of you that you didn't like, and that makes you so uninteresting. Because now you're just like everybody else, but you liked who everybody else was, so it doesn't matter. Not that you're going to force yourself to become something that, everybody hates, because you're probably not strong enough if you chose a life path where you were going to get it very easily. But if you had to become a version of yourself that you hated, maybe. Maybe then people would like you. But remember that if you do get everything you want, and you finally get to follow all of your dreams, and you finally get infinite payoff from that, for the rest of your life, you're going to live a life where everybody you ever meet is more lost than you are. So you have to be fully trained up on how to create criticism that you're then going to take yourself. And you have to know, you're going to have to be able to make yourself better by thinking you're terrible. If you learned everything, then everybody you ever met would be dumber than you. And you'd have to be really good at being smarter than them. And really okay with it. And really okay with every unfathomable situation that you being better than somebody else could cause. So if that's not the path that you're looking for, then you aren't looking for being a successful music artist or author or whatever, because imagine this, right? As an author, I mean, at least you know that math and science may not have been your specialty, so at the very worst, you could go do math and science. Because what I'm saying isn't like you're not going to be a good author. I'm saying there's a very real possibility that you will be a great author. There's a very great possibility you being a great author will go unrecognized, which is one thing. There's also a very, very great possibility that you'll be the only great author that person's ever met. And whatever you say to them is going to decide the fate of the rest of their life, or whatever. Or maybe it's super unimportant to them, but you're still a great author. Because somebody else told them you were great, but they don't know what that means. You know, they tried to read the book, but they don't know how to read. They tried to read the book, but they don't know how to read, so they Googled a little summary. That is how it is. But you still keep up your public appearances and you take selfies with that person because they really, really want, like, a selfie with a great author. It's okay if they don't know what it means. It's not their fault they don't know what that means. They slipped through the cracks somehow. Somehow. They let themselves, or they got to somehow, right? So, yeah, they don't know what it means that they took a selfie with a great author. That's fine. They barely know how to read. That's fine. They could have a free copy and try, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. So you do your best. But then there's, the opposite side of that still, where you are such a great author that every person you meet for the rest of your life has read every book you've ever written and asks you for advice all the time, and you have good advice to give because you're good at what you do. And if you're good at what you do and everybody recognizes it, you have to be fine with being a better author than everybody. Every book that you're going to read that's not written by you, if you're actually truly like the best author on the planet, then you're going to be like, wow, this book really just belongs in the trash then. The random book off the shelf from another author because you tried to branch out and not only read your own book, but you were the best author still. You wanted to prove yourself wrong. You tried reading it, like immediately you're like, oh, this goes in the trash, right? And it's not even narcissistic if you are the best on the planet. And it's true, and it's provable, and it's real. And you don't just think it's real. But it's so impossible to prove to yourself, if you wanted to, that you're not just making up that you're the best, and that everybody isn't just lying to you that you're the best. So. Or you finally get the bank account you wanted, but you still feel guilty when other people ask you for things, even if they're actively being harmful to you. You still feel guilty and you give them what they asked for. Or you can't handle it when, they can't cope with you not giving them what they want or whatever. Like, you have to also navigate that, and that's crazy. And would you still be friends with that person? Is that even a fair reason to not be friends with them? Like, there's a lot to figure out, What about people asking for opportunities? Right? If you think about it, no, you're not going to hand everybody an opportunity, and you already knew that. But what about the people who have an amazing backstory, they've overcome a lot in their life? Do they deserve that amazing opportunity that they're asking you for? Well, you weren't there for it, so you don't know if they're lying to you and making it up. A lot of people are really convincing liars. A lot of people would lie for anything they could. So, and if they're willing to lie about all of the terrible things they went through and overcame, how are you going to feel if you gave them that opportunity and now they're the one who's world famous? I mean, you also are, but what about everything you gave to them? Just to find out that they won. They stole that, basically. from you and everybody, and now they're still using that fake, like, backstory of everything they overcame in their life. Now you have to be the one who's responsible for what kind of karma for you just giving them that, like, enabling them? Do you get the return of karma where you're enabled now to have an easy life when it should have been difficult? Or, you know, what if they're terrified that people are going to find out about all of the lies that they made up? Are you going to get the return of that energy where you're now terrible, or not terrible, but like, yeah, I guess terrible. You think you're terrible, right? You think you're terrible. You're like, oh no, like, oh no, people are gonna think that I'm making all this up, but I'm not. Like, you start to get like a weird whatever, right? Like, I don't know. It's like, if you could free anybody from jail, would you? Right now. Technically, I guess you could bail somebody out if you really had like a few $1,000s, but like, what if you bail somebody out and it's the wrong person and it's, you know, they go back to like their ex-husband or ex-wife and they burn their house down, but it was like a nice person whose house they burned down? Like, you know, you can't go around giving everybody opportunities if you don't know what they're going to do with it or what place they're coming from. And if they tell you, you know exactly what place they're coming from, they're probably lying, because 99% of them are going to be lying. Once in a while, there will be a really good one who isn't lying, but you don't know, because you don't know which one it is. You don't know which one it is. So you really just have to be fine with not knowing what's going to happen and wanting to set things into motion, not knowing what you're setting into motion. Because if you have attachment to that and then you don't get to choose, it's going to be really upsetting when you find out you don't get to choose at all. I wasn't trying to scold you or give you a lecture. All of it just happened. Now look at us. Now we're both ruined permanently. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye.